Jai Shri Ram. Verbal practice workout. Okay. These are text completion, which is fill in the blanks. They use the term text completion. Okay. Let me quickly run you through the meanings there. Boring, floral. Floral means flowers. The implied meaning can be overdone, over decorated, or language which is inflated, big words and all that. Baroque. It's a type of architecture. Baroque architecture, highly decorated. It's not a negative word. Baroque and rococo, rococo, ornate, ornate. Ornate is a simple English word which means highly decorated. Ornate is a positive word. Baroque is also a positive word. It simply means that style of furniture making or architecture which has a lot of decorations and it's highly decorated, aesthetic. Okay. Cormac McCarthy writes in an idiom both spare and flowery. Oh, with paragraphs of short declarative sentences interspersed with long dash passages of description and philosophizing. I think we should go for take a pause and work. I would go for Baroque because that would mean highly ornamented sort of, with language that is euphuistic, euphuistic, which means very flowery language. Okay, the word floral seems too simple and odd also. Floral passages sounds odd. The collocation doesn't agree. Collocation means combination of words. See, there is something called a collocation. What is the noun? What is the adjective that suits a noun? What are the collective nouns? A pack of dogs. A murder of crows. For crows, the collective noun is murder. You can't say pack of crows. So these are called collocations. What is the preposition that follows? Which adjective suits which noun? Which adverb goes with which verb? So these are called collocations. There is a collocations dictionary also. Even on the net, you should find a collocations dictionary. So it is useful to go through that too, because in the GRE collocations are also, you got to be careful about collocations. The other concept is usage. Sometimes usage dictates how a word fits into a particular context. So that means how it has been used and therefore now it is established usage. So let's go into the next one. Let's look at the words below. Thesis, as you know, research paper. Leitmotif means a repeating theme, a theme that is repeated in a movie or a novel. Blank to spiritual means search for self knowledge. Pecuniary means money, dabbu, paisa. Figurative means implied, metaphorical, representational, symbolic. Simony. Okay, simony is actually a Christian, what do you call, practice or sacrament, or actually it's paying money and getting indulgences and blessings and absolution, pardon. This is a strange practice. If you pay sufficient money, the Pope or the Bishop or Pastor will issue a certificate that you have been pardoned for the sins that you have committed. So these kind of strange things. Martin Luther King, who is the founder of Protestantism, he protested against this practice because he felt that simony is a kind of corruption. Let's see what he's saying. Simony is one of the three primary dash in Joyce's Dubliners, recurring in almost every story in the collection. In some stories, the simony is more or less literal, with characters attempting to purchase salvation with money. In other stories, it arrives in a more dash form. Okay. So, yeah, like I told you, now take a pause and start working, please. I'm also working. Three primary. Yes, I'm ready with my answer. Are you? The first blank should be leitmotifs, because recurring, that's the clue. Next, in the simony is more or less literal. Acha, in some it is very literal, in others it must be implied. So figurative. Figurative. That's it. Next one. Devices. Now devices can mean many things. Literally it means a gadget. It can also mean a literary kind of a device, which means as a choice of words and sentences aimed at aimed to bring about a certain meaning and all that. Apocrypha. of unknown origin. Actually, there are some books in the Bible whose authorship is unknown. So they are called apocrypha. Apocryphal means fake. The apocryphal story about the apple falling on Newton's head. There are many people who say that nothing fell, this is all cooked up. So apocryphal ante fake. Ephemera. Ephemera means, things which don't last for a long time or don't have value for too long. For example, a bus ticket. So many tickets and so many small things, stamps and all these things which are useful for a few minutes and after which they don't have any value. Such short-lived valued things are called ephemera. Ephemeral means something that is short-lived. This is a word that we have encountered several times. Ephemeral, evanescent, transitory, transient, momentary, fugitive, fugacious, lasting only for a very short period of time. Blank 2. Philosophy, philosophy is the love of wisdom, or philosophy is a subject, academic discipline that deals with first principles. What is the purpose of life? What is life? What does it mean to be? What is the meaning of existence? Ontology, teleology, so many phenomenology, or what you call epistemology. Epistemology is an important GRE word. What is knowledge? Is there anything called knowledge? Because our senses are imperfect, the inputs that we receive through the senses are imperfect. For example, the sun looks small, actually it's so big. So that means our senses are imperfect, it's not able to see the actual size. We see illusions also. So when you admit that your senses are imperfect and all the information that you get through the senses, which is then put together by the mind, and then you arrive at some conclusions and then call it knowledge. When the inputs are defective, how can you arrive at the conclusion that the final conclusion is knowledge? Isn't it? Epistemology is an interesting subject. So this is philosophy. Wanderlust. Wanderlust means the desire to travel. Desire to travel. Anomie is rootlessness, cultural shock. Anomie. मैं कौन हूँ, मैं कहाँ हूँ. Rootlessness, feeling uprooted, deracinated, DERACINATE, culture shock. Okay. Mixed media artist May Chevret begins each painting by affixing to canvas a photo from her travels, then embedding dash, such as a used ticket stubs and concert posters before applying paint. The final works emblazoned. Emblazoned means, display prominently. On my t-shirt is emblazoned Jai Shri Ram. So that means it has been prominently printed or embossed, emblazoned with quotes as well as evidence of Chevret's extensive and wide-ranging travels, convey a sense of joyful dash. Okay, the answers are obvious because there are so many clues here. First blank is ephemera. Next blank is a sense of joyful wanderlust. Isn't it? Quotes are wide-ranging travels. Yes, travels are not gada. So wanderlust. Jai Shri Ram.